Good morning. My name's John Parry. I imagine, like many of you, I've been following the catechisms that Rod's been sending out in his morning email each weekday. And I was sharing with him a few days ago that on one day, it was last week, when it was question 3, how does sin affect you? I was reading the referenced verses in the scriptures, and I came to Isaiah 59. I read the first couple of verses as he suggested, but then I went on to read the whole chapter. I'm not sure why, but I was just drawn to it, and it just spoke to me about the current environment, the current situation that we're living in this world. But it also, on reflection, it also taught me that there's nothing new in this world. That even back 4,000 years ago, in Old Testament times, things were not very different to how we find them now. And so I just wanted to share with you a little bit about what I picked up from that chapter of Isaiah 59. And Isaiah spoke about 3 main topics there: justice, truth, and rebellion. And he spoke to the Israelites, saying, justice is driven back. No one calls for justice. No one pleads a case with integrity. They rely on empty arguments. They utter lies. They conceive trouble and give birth to evil. There is no justice in their paths. And how much that speaks to us of how things seemed to be today, in this day and age, that you hear people arguing for certain cases for this, that and the other, and often it's based on falsehoods. So he goes on to speaks about truth as well, and as he speaks about truth, he says, truth has stumbled in the streets. Honesty cannot enter. Truth is nowhere to be found, and whoever shuns evil becomes a prey. And again, it just speaks volumes how they talk about us being in a post-truth age. We've just come to the end of an era of 4 years of President Trump, and I'm sure many of you have listened to the things he's been saying, or that have been reported that he's been saying, and clearly they've been falsehoods. They've not been the truth. They've been complete lies, and it just seems to be acceptable these days to do this, and it just spoke to me. And then, as I mentioned earlier, he spoke about rebellion, and Isaiah said, they pursue evil schemes, acts of violence mark their ways. The way of peace they do not know. They incite revolt and oppression, uttering lies, rebellion and treachery against the Lord. Well, again, I mean, you only have to look at what's happened in the last couple of weeks over in Washington, and seeing how there's an incitement to people who didn't like what had happened, to revolt and oppress others, and of course it was based on lies, the falsehood that the election was not won by Biden, but was won by Trump, despite every evidence to the contrary. However, although we may feel worried and anxious and concerned about all these things, Isaiah brings us back to the Lord, and he says, the Lord looked and was displeased that there was no justice. According to what they have done, so will he repay wrath to his enemies and retribution to his foes. So, we shouldn't worry. The Lord has it all in hand. That's what Isaiah's teaching us here. And then he goes on to say, the Lord declares, my spirit who is on you will not depart from you, and my words that I have put in your mouth will always be on your lips. So we must trust in the Lord. It's difficult. I've got to confess, I find that I challenge myself when faced with so many things that seem wrong, that seem against justice, against truth, against integrity. And yet we must trust in the Lord that he has it all in hand, that we must rely upon him, and that he shows his love and his care and his grace and his compassion towards us and towards all. So I just want to leave you with those few thoughts. Thank you, and bye-bye.